Sex can be the most intimate and beautiful expression of love. But you are only lying to yourself. We are only lying to ourselves when we act as if sex is proof of love. Too many men demand sex as proof of love. And too many women have given sex in hope of finding love, in hope of love. We live in a world of users. We live in a world of takers. We live in a world where people abuse each other to dull the pain of aloneness. We long for intimacy, and physical contact can appear as intimacy. And it's not. At least it may feel like that for a moment. And then you realize that intimacy is more than just that. In this video, I will share with you how to build intimacy in your relationship. And at the end of the video, I will share with you how to create and maintain intimacy no matter how long you have been together with your spouse. Let's have this conversation. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to our channel. I am Doran, and this is Not Easily Broken. On our channel, we give you tips and advice to help you to build stronger marriages and relationships, and we help you to do it God's way. Now, the first intimacy in relationship that I want to talk about is, number one, spiritual intimacy. Biblically speaking, intimacy began in the Garden of Eden between God and man, between God and Adam. Adam had a close relationship with God. This is what we consider as spiritual intimacy. And you might be saying, or you might be asking, what does spiritual intimacy have to do with intimacy with your partner? The truth is, the true definition of intimacy is not found by just merging your body in sexual encounter with someone else. It's not just about that. You know, when Jesus said, "And the two shall become one," the two becoming one, I can't help but think that it meant more than just the physical aspect of intimacy. When I look at creation, when I look at the blueprint, the template of God, I see something deeper than just that. I see God at work, trying to explain to us and demonstrate to us through his pattern and sequence of the way he does things, why this is so important. God wanted us to focus on our vertical relationship, our vertical alignment, our vertical intimacy. And that is God to man, man to God. Man to God, God to man. That relationship is first. And when our vertical spiritual intimacy with God is right, then our horizontal physical intimacy, husband and wife, wife and husband, will be much better. This type of intimacy will be more organic, and it will flow easier when you build that kind of relationship. See, many couples go to bed at night and they share their body, but not their heart. You know, think about it. Many of these same people would say that they are very lonely. They feel alone. They feel like they are by themselves, even though they're in a relationship. And why is that? Because just as a garden hose is not the source of water, but only an expression or a vehicle for it, so it is with sex. Sex is not the source of intimacy, but an outlet or an expression of it, no matter how hard you try. If real emotional and spiritual intimacy does not exist before sex, it is not going to exist after it, because sex does not create it. Well, my friends, if this video is helping you, I'm going to ask you a big favor. If you can hit that like button, this will be the best way that you can help this video to reach more audience. Thank you so much. Let's get right back into it. Number two, physical intimacy. Physical intimacy between a couple is an act of exchange of feelings, including touch, physical touch, close companionship, platonic love, holding hands, cuddling, kissing, and your attractiveness and desire for their physical body. You like the rhythm of their body. You like the way they walk, the way they talk, the way they shape the contour of their body. You like the kind of colors that they wear. Some of you like to see your wife in certain colors, see your husband in certain colors. All these are part of physical intimacy. Physical relationship after marriage can be a critical element in strengthening a relationship. Physical intimacy is about physical connection that you have grown to love, to express to your spouse by way of the actions that you take with them, right? It is not about sex. It is based on physical attractiveness. In other words, there is a pull, there is a synergy, there is a rhythm that draw or pull you in together based on the physical aspect of who you are with, or who you date, who you marry, who you are in love with, right? Number 3, emotional intimacy. Now, emotional intimacy can lead to better relationship and better sexual experience, especially for a woman. Oh, yes. Emotional intimacy is all about sharing your feelings and your emotions with the person that you profess to love. These feelings and connection allow us to get closer to our spouse. This form of intimacy can also be nurtured through empathy, empathizing with each other and trying to understand each other's feelings and concerns. It is about learning about each other. It is about taking pride in understanding each other. It is about leaning into your spouse and showing them how much you care. It is said that people don't want to know how much you know until they know how much you care. I would say that your spouse don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And emotional connection and emotional intimacy is such a great way to show your spouse how much you care about them. Also, this is very critical. And I want husband to really understand me and understand this, that this is an area that men need to pay more attention to in their marriages, right? Men were taught to be good providers, to be protectors, but were not taught how to emotionally connect with their spouse. They were not taught how to be emotionally available to their wives. And this is possible. It is possible for you to be a protector. It is possible for you to be a great father, a good provider, and also be available emotionally. Even during sexual intimacy, a lot of men don't show emotions, and that leave their wives to feel unloved, unsatisfied sexually, disconnected, and longing for more than just a husband that knows how to provide. Longing for a man that is more than just a good father, but a man that knows how to understand and to be with them on a different, higher frequency and level. You can be a good father and an uncaring husband to the need of your wife. And you can be a great mother and detach yourself from your husband's needs and his desire. We often see where this lead some spouse to step out of the marriage because of the lack of emotional intimacy. That is not right. It's not the right thing to do at all. But we have seen it happen, especially by the way of social media, where somebody can just log on and they can see an ex-boyfriend, an ex-girlfriend. Anything can happen. And one of the big challenge also is men doesn't take the time to listen to their wives. You know, sometimes as men, we misunderstand our spouse. And I've been down that road before, where sometimes I'm trying to solve my wife's problems when all she wants me to do is listen. Often, men misunderstand their wives when they are speaking, thinking that she wants your idea. She's asking for your help, and she's not. She's not always asking for your help. She just wants you to listen to her. She wants you to hear her. Oftentimes you hear your spouse say, "Babe, you're not listening to me." My wife used to say that a lot. I had to learn that, I can't solve all of her problems because we were wired that way, to be problem solvers. And that's why a lot of times we compartmentalize or we separate ourselves from the emotional aspect of our responsibility as a husband and just deal with the physical aspect, the fixing the house, the fixing the pipe, fixing the cupboard, fixing the sink, all these different things that we do. And not realizing that even though our wives appreciate that, they want us to love them. They want us to cuddle them. They want a slap on the backside sometimes. They want us to pull them in towards them and give them a juicy kiss. And, they need these things. They do. And for the wives, your husband wants and desire that emotional connection with you that makes him feel honored, makes him feel respected. He wants to feel safe with you. Don't make the mistakes of throwing back an issue in his face that he emotionally shared with you while he was vulnerable. If you do this, I promise you that you won't get that man to talk to you anymore. He will never share his innermost feelings towards you. Now, husband, listen to me. Regardless of any limitations that you may feel that you have, regardless of how you feel or you feel disconnected in a lot of different ways, I want you to hear me. Men are called to shepherd their wives' heart just as much as women are called to shepherd their husband's sexuality. Just as a man feel most connected with physical connection, physical intimacy, a woman generally feel most connected when emotional intimacy is at its highest. And that's why it's important for us to pay attention to each other. There is a reason that the first thing that Adam did when he saw Eve was not touch her body, was not take her to bed. It was not about sex, but he uttered the first love poem ever written. And in Genesis chapter 2 and verse 23, he said, finally, at last, wow, God, you finally create somebody that I can relate to. And he said, this is bone of my bone. This is flesh of my flesh. I will call you woman because you came out of me. Adam was able to speak into his wife life. That's one of the things that a woman desires, a man that knows how to speak into her life. Because when you speak words to your wife, you are creating an experience. Oh, baby, you're beautiful. You're gorgeous. You're sexy. You're attractive. I like your body. You smell so good. Girl, I'm so glad that I found you. When you use those language, oh my God, she just melt in your arms. These are the language that we use to create emotional intimacy with our spouse. Number 4, sexual intimacy. Sexual intimacy is the highest connection a man and a woman, a husband and a wife, can share with each other. Sexual intimacy is so deep. It is so powerful. It has to be mutual sense of comfort that you feel in being with another person, to being with the man or the woman that you love. Your true essence or your true expression of yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, your sexual desires for your mate is displayed in a sexual encounter. It is the highest level of intimacy that a man and a woman can ever experience in their lives. Every time you have a sexual connection with your spouse, you are both becoming one. Oh, yes, you are. You are always becoming one in your marriage. And the most intimate way to achieve that is through a sexual experience, a sexual encounter, sexual intimacy. Sex is such a powerful way of connecting two people that God designed it for marriage. Sex creates a covenant. This is why God wants us to only give ourselves in marriage to each other. Talk to me. God wants us to only have sexual intimacy with our spouse. There is no such thing as casual sex. Sex allows you to create a new covenant. That's why if you are married and you step out of the relationship and sleep with another person, you create another covenant with them. Oh, y'all don't want to hear this kind of talk, do you? There is no such thing as a one night stand. You are thinking it is a one night stand, but I'm telling you, it's much more than just that concerning the connection that and the bond that you create, whether it's one night or not. In Genesis chapter 4 and verse 1, the Bible tells us that Adam knew his wife Eve, and she conceived and bare a son, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. The word knew in this particular text translate in Hebrew as yada, Y-A-D-A, yada, which means a man and a woman coming together as one, becoming one flesh in marriage, one flesh in a sexual encounter. So every time that you have sex with your wife, with your husband, you are renewing that connection. Real essence of sexual intimacy is based on knowledge and love for one another. Why is knowledge important in sexual intimacy? Because when it comes to sex, most spouses only care about serving themselves, only care about themselves. And real sexual intimacy is learning how to serve your mate, learning how to serve your spouse. It is understanding that God has given you a spouse that you can explore their sexuality at its highest level, that you have an understanding to know their body and their rhythm, know the pattern that is based on how your spouse desire to experience and enjoy sexual intimacy with you. Sexual intimacy is not just about you, my friend. It is indeed about the two of you. Now, how to create and maintain intimacy? How do you continue to create it and maintain it? I believe that no one should be more fascinating and excited about intimacy than two people that profess to love, which means that you have to be fascinated about the person that you marry. They're supposed to be the most interesting person to you. You are supposed to be so involved and engaged with them that it literally captivate and take your breath away. Studying them and learning about them should be your number one priority. It is the surest way to create and maintain intimacy. This is about being intentional and about understanding the person you love. The noun intimacy comes from the Latin word intimare, which means impress. Are you impressing your spouse? Are you giving? Are you showing them? Are you showing up with the best version of you? So to impress or to make familiar, which comes from the Latin word intimus, meaning innermost, innermost. True intimacy seek to know your partner on a deeper level. Oh my Lord, this is good. I often say intimacy means into me you see. Oh yeah. We're going to go deeper than just what looks on the outside, what you see on the outside. You build that kind of bond with your partner that you trust them enough to be open with them. You can be both naked with each other, husband and wife coming together as one. In Genesis chapter 2 and verse 25, the Bible said Adam and Eve were naked and not ashamed. Can you be naked with your spouse? We're talking about the innocence of love. Husband and wife should have no barriers or feel embarrassed for exposing themselves with each other. You shouldn't feel embarrassed. When you build trust in the marriage, it is easy to be vulnerable. And intimacy and vulnerability goes together. They live in the same house. You can't have one without the other. In marriage, the lack of spiritual and emotional intimacy will lead to the void or the lack of physical and sexual intimacy. And that's why they must all intertwine together. They're all interlooped together. You cannot have one without the other. Spiritual intimacy, physical intimacy, emotional intimacy, and sexual intimacy all comes together. And when they're not working as one, that's when there's a breakdown in the sexual intimacy in the marriage. Well, my friends, that's it for this video. What do you like best about this video? I would like to hear. Leave a comment in the comment section. Love to hear from you. If this video helps, then please give it a like. And if you have not hit that subscribe button, my question to you is, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and may God continue to bless you, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one.